What's up, everyone? My name is Bobby Jarrell.
And I'm Dennis.
We want to welcome you guys to our brand new podcast. This is our very first episode
Number one.
of A Movie and a Cocktail with Bobby and Dennis.
Dennis.
Yeah. So on this show, what we'll be doing is reviewing movies.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them will be current movies. Every now and then we might review some old movies, reviewing some Academy Award winners and what we think about them. So the whole purpose of this show is just to share our thoughts and our opinions of those movies, good or bad. So,
and if you like it, you like it. If you don't,
that's your business.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why, how we came up with the idea, we kind of always sit down and talk about movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one day I was just like, you know what? We sit here and have these conversations. Let's put it on record it and make a show out of it. Let's see what happens. Because people love going to the movies. People love watching movies. I feel like right now there are so many different platforms to watch movies. So it's not the same experience anymore. Do you agree?
I don't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though you have more platforms out there, it's better able for people to watch movies and be able to sit amongst family, friends, co-workers even, and learn different things from movies, as well as just watch old movies that was out there at one point in time that we forgot all about.
Right.
Because we came from a generation where we had Blockbuster.
True.
And Movie Gallery.
Well, okay, so what I say it's different now is because like back when we had like Blockbuster, a movie would be in the theater. If you didn't get to see the movie in the theater, you got to wait however long before it actually came out on back in the day.
DVD
DVD, because DVD is my age range. You're probably more like the VHS. You're like VHS.
Give me a VHS in a minute.
So I think that experience of, there's a new movie coming out, so the only way to actually see that movie is to go to the theater. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're younger, getting dropped off. I don't know if you ever got like dropped off with your friends to go see the movie, or going as a family to the movies. It was like a whole experience. But it's like now, social media kind of ruins that, because a movie comes out at 12 o'clock midnight. The next day, there's nothing but spoilers and all of that talking about the movie, so you can't really enjoy it because everybody has their opinion about it before the majority of the people get to see the movie.
But do you think social media ruined it for us? Because we had bootleggers back then.
But it still wasn't that easy to get the bootleg. It wasn't like the movie came out. Well, sometime it will come out.
Exactly. Before. You get them people in the barbershop and stuff.
Everybody wasn't getting the bootlegs like that. Okay. So I think it was like for me, it's just that whole experience of going to the movies and that excitement of it's about to come out and all of that. And so like in order to, with social media, everybody can share their opinions on social media, but back in the day we didn't have that. So it's like you could talk to your friends and you got to kind of get your own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that I feel like streaming services have made it better for the networks, the movie networks and things like that.
Better marketing though.
Yeah, because like, you know, certain people, movies come out, everybody talk about how much they hate them, but people watch them. Some people watch them just to critique it and do all that. But I guess that's what we're about to start doing right now. You know, but we're professionals.
I mean, I work for the Academy.
Sure you do. Mm-hmm. I have no affiliation with this man. All right, so let me ask you this: what is it that you enjoy about movies?
Movies, number one, it's an escape. Mm-hmm. It's a different reality. You're able to step into certain characters or watch certain characters and how they navigate. Not navigate, but
that sounds like a good word.
Yeah, navigate is.
It sounds like a good word. Yeah.
I mean, hey, sometimes it be like that.
Hey, just go with it.
But you're able to see their trajectory of their life and how they deal with problems, how they deal with certain situations, and then it kind of sometimes help you out with what you may be going through. Also, fantasy. Everything we were built on fantasy, on Disney movies that the prince and the princess run off with each other and live happily ever after and stuff like that. So it gives us hope that that's a reason why. Another reason why I really love movies is because I like the comfort of snuggling under a blanket and just enjoying the cinema that's put before me.
Okay. So for you, as the audience member watching the movie, you watch a movie just to enjoy the escape,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
For me, I love the escape. I love when like a movie is like really good and it just draws you in and you're watching these characters and you're like, oh shoot, I want to know what's happening in their life. I want to know what's next.
Mm-hmm.
Like you like invested in the movie. But the other side of me, because like doing theater and starting to do more films and stuff now, and little shows and things, I think as a young kid, I enjoyed watching movies and even like saying stage plays when I started like liking stage plays. I enjoyed it because I wanted to know the ins and outs.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, as I learn more about filming and acting and writing and all those things, watching a movie, I'm watching it to see like, okay, why did they pick that angle? Or why,
Okay.
like I'm watching the transitions of like how are they doing the like when they're having a conversation, they're doing over the shoulder, and I'm like, okay, how they did it over the shoulder and the camera was just facing that person.
Mm-hmm.
So why is the camera gone when it cuts back to them? I'm like, where's the camera? Like, and it's like, for me, I get excited about those types of things. So I feel that I am a little bit more critical when it comes to my feedback and reviews on movies. Why are you making that face?
Just movies? I mean,
we got company right now, okay? So let's not do this. Let's not. Look, this is our very first episode. This is this is our very first episode. This is not a music review show. This is a movie review show. Yes. It's called A Movie and a Cocktail with Bobby and Jarrell. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. It was like for me is I'm like going back to stage plays, right? I remember sitting in the very first stage play I saw was Tyler Perry's Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Okay.
And I remember as a kid sitting in the audience and I was just fascinated by every single thing that was going on around me.
All the moving parts.
Every single thing. I was like, wow, how are they doing that? Like the stage would turn.
Even the transitioning of stages.
Yes.
And the whole concept of when characters supposed to come in
yes.
and like the cues and
all of that.
Okay.
Like I'm sitting around like, okay, well, what are they doing backstage? Are they just like pretending to go on with their day as they're backstage, like the character's still going on, or like but as I got older and started doing stage play, I'm like, yeah, you backstage, you trying to change clothes and you trying to make sure everything good before you come back on stage. But it's also the lighting cues. So it's like, okay, the person in the lighting booth has to know when the lights need to go down. The sound cues. How do you decide when you're gonna do this sound cue? Like the jokes and the audience feedback and all of that. It was just exciting to me. And so as a kid, like I was just fascinated with the whole working pieces, all the working pieces of making this stuff come to life, from stage, video, like music videos, movies, TV shows, all of those things. So I say that to say that I think that this conversation or these conversations that we're going to have going forward on a movie and a podcast, movie and what is it called? I think my cocktail kicking in.
Yes,
we too early in the episode for that. A movie and a cocktail with Bobby and Jarrell. So I think it's going to make it interesting because I feel like since we've been friends, you've kind of started to see a little bit more of how I see things.
You've helped me understand a little bit more of because I came from a place of I want to watch a movie because I want to immerse in their environment. Now you're getting me to really look at the positioning and the transitioning from one scene to another. What's the backstory of the character?
Right.
How does that actor or actress is able to tell the story through their visual as well as them speaking the words? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think that when you're an actor, and it's one of the things that frustrate me when
come on, like, Bobby Jarrell, the
actor. It frustrates me when it frustrates me when when I'm doing like either theater or a show or a movie with actors that don't understand. Whenever you are on set and the director says action or go, whatever they want to say. When the director says that, you are acting. And I would be like in stage plays, because you're on stage, like the whole time you're on stage, no matter if you're saying something or not, you should be acting. And there would be people that would do like silly things, like they would pretend. So like
Okay.
in the last movie that I did, the one that you got to see, Meet the Bastrop by Miss Dear Jamie, which was an amazing movie. I thought it was amazing. It was a short film. It was great. I thought we did a great job. But
You did a wonderful job.
one of the things, like the lady, she was, and I would say even some actors that have been doing it a while, they'll pretend. So the therapist in the movie, she's a very nice woman, she was like had to be writing on the pad as she's doing the therapy scene, but she was like pretending to write, and I'm like, actually write. Like
Scribble
take
something.
notes, take
Scribble
like
something.
say like just do something to where it looks like you're actually writing and not pretending. But it's those small things that when I'm watching movies and TV shows, I'm looking at them like that was a bad choice.
Okay, I got a question.
Yes.
So when you hear the stories how certain actors may immerse in their character, so they be that character from start all the way until they finish.
Like Heath Ledger.
Yeah, him. I think at one point
Robin
in time,
Williams did it too.
Robin Williams. I heard Jamie Foxx did it at one point in time.
Okay.
So these people who really take that character and make that character be how can I say it? Is it more like that character is stepping into their world or real time world?
I would say it's the opposite. The actor has to step into the character. So like the character is
but the actor is real time, is now.
Yes. So basically, by saying the actor stepping into the character, it's now okay. You have this. When you get a script, it's just paper, words on a paper. So that's the character. But how do you make those words come to life? When you say there's like small things that you can do as an actor that will make a character better when you see it. But in order to do that, you have to say, like me as Bobby Jarrell, I have to be like, for this character, I have to put Bobby Jarrell aside.
Yeah.
And I need to become this character. How does this character walk? How does this character talk? What do they have a twitch? Do they have like a neck roll? Do they have like a little side eye? Do they have those things
so you're
that are going to make this person seem believable and real?
Gotcha.
Now, the thing is, as an actor, for me, and I'm, like if other actors are watching this and y'all disagree, let me know. But I think for me, the thing, in order to make a character believable, I have to not pretend to feel a certain way. I can't pretend to be mad. I can't pretend to be upset. I can't pretend to be sad, right?
So you have to go there. You have to go to those moments.
Right. And so in order to do that, and I remember I had a conversation with this guy a while back when I was doing my web series. In order to do that, sadness is sadness, right? So you can look at a person and you can say, that person is sad, right? So in order for an actor to step into that role and make that sadness look real, they have to tap into something in their own life and be able to connect those dots. To be like, this character is sad because her mom just passed away. My mom never passed away. My dad never passed away. I would be sad if my dad passed away. But I need the editors to remove that, please. But say like that the sadness, where it comes from, doesn't matter. It's in that moment. If that character is saying, I'm sad because my mom died, the actor can be pulling from, oh, my best friend died. Yeah. Oh, my grandmother died. And in that moment, they're thinking about that, but they're saying the lines.
Gotcha.
And that's where the emotion looks real.
So you can cry on cue, huh?
Who, me? I can't necessarily cry on cue, but I can make the moment feel real to me. Okay. So as an actor, if I'm in a scene with someone and they're telling me a story and they're believable, as an actor, I'm believing what they're saying because my character needs to believe what they're saying. And I'm pulling from that emotion. It's just like I'm more of like an empath, right? So it's like, as long as I know that this person in front of me is saying these words and they're making me believe it, then I can pull
So you're
from
gonna
that.
have people looking at their actor's friend like, okay, are you basically acting with me,
And
trying to get your way, sir
so
or
that's
ma'am?
the thing. Like, we talked about some of the movies that we saw the other week, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them were just saying the words, and there was no truth behind what they were saying. Like, I remember, I was in a play a while back, and this guy, he had two daughters in the play, but I don't think he had kids of his own.
Oh, okay.
And that you could tell, like, just how he was holding one of the little girls, and I'm like,
He's not a
have you ever
father,
had a
base.
kid? Like,
Yeah,
ever been around a kid before?
yeah. It's not natural for you, sir.
Right. So anyway, that's our little intro. This is how we came up with the idea. And so, like, on A Movie and a Cocktail with Bob and Jarrell, what we'll be doing, um, each week or every other week, we'll be picking a different movie. Like I said, it may be a movie that's out in the theaters right now, maybe something that's old. If you guys have recommendations on
Please,
what y'all would like for us to watch and review, let us know.
we are
Um,
open.
every now and then, like, Dennis may pick a movie that I haven't seen, or I'll pick a movie that Dennis hasn't seen, and we'll just review the movie. And we'll give our honest, unedited feedback
And be
of
real,
the movies.
real about it.
There's a certain writer, director, producer, actor that I banished from my home, that I said I would never watch another one of their movies in my home ever again. But for the sake of this podcast,
Who
I'm
is
willing.
that? I wonder. I
If it
wonder.
comes up, it comes
I
up.
wonder.
We could talk about it at the end, because that could be our next
I
episode.
wonder.
That could be our next episode. But I know the people, like, people that know me and they know how I am when it comes to, like, my review and critique of movies. I feel like people are going to listen to the episode just to be like, I just want to see what he's going to say. And I'm not going to say anything negative. I'm just going to give my honest opinion. Okay?
In a nice way, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Y'all heard that, in a nice way.
And I like, before we even get into it, I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna say it right now on this very first episode, is I'm never gonna say that the man is trash.
Okay.
I'm never gonna say that his work sucks.
Okay.
I'm never gonna say that the acting sucks because he's a horrible director. You're never gonna hear those words out of me.
He's a horrible director.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying I'm never going to say.
But
I said
from
it.
what we know, they coined.
They do. They do got money, and it makes me wonder, like, how. All right, so
check the Oprah Network. You'll find.
Oh, mind your business. All right, so for our very first movie, do you want to tell the people what we will be reviewing?
Well, we will be reviewing two movies that's currently on Netflix now. One is called Old Guard.
The Old Guard.
The Old Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And the Old Guard too. So basically, they're, from the name of it, they're in the connection of each other.
You said a connection is just part one and part two.
Yeah, but they are connection.
Like, why are you speaking in riddles?
That's a connection.
All right, so for the Old Guard, it is a group of mercenaries, all centuries old immortals, with the ability to heal themselves, discover someone is onto their secret, and they must fight to protect their freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So this is starring the incomparable Miss how you say her name? Charlize Theron. Oh, Charlize Theron. You know what I'm saying?
Charisse.
Ain't no Charlize. Charlize. Y'all know who it is.
Charisse.
Oh my. Charlize Theron, I think. So anyway,
she always have a serious face.
Charlize Theron, Ms. Kiki Lane, Matthias, somebody, and Morwen Kinzari. So that is part one, and part two is just a continuation of part one. But those same four actors are in the very first movie and the second movie, and then there's a add-on to the second movie, but we'll get to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you recently watched part one. I had already seen part one, like, when it first came out in 2020. It is on Netflix, still on there now. I think both movies are currently in the top 10 on Netflix. So, what did you think of part one?
So part one was, first of all, I was very surprised because I looked at the previews first.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, what is this? Some type of some type of superficial cosmic type movie.
Superficial
Yeah, superficial. Like from the previews, they were
or
all things
supernatural?
supernatural. Well, superficial, supernatural. Yeah,
That's
that's not the same.
mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but continue.
What?
Continue.
Edit that out, please.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Unedited, because we don't know about to think we cheating.
But it came off as okay. Well, it's something that is out of my norm of what I really watch.
Okay.
Um. However, when it first started, I was like, okay, well, because when it first started, it's set in.
Oh, before you hold that thought.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, if you are listening right now, you have not seen these movies, I will say, spoiler alert, because we're about to go in detail about some parts of the movie. So, spoiler alert. All right, go.
So when it first started, it was more. It started in like Arab
Yes. Mm-hmm.
country, and so automatically came to mind was more of like these Arab movies that come out to where the storyline goes into okay, well, we're U.S. soldiers, we're going in and we're going to uproot the people.
Are you mixing 1 and 2 up?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Two, I mean one, because
Yes, I do.
remember it started off
Mm-hmm.
in the Arab
Okay.
country.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
And from that nature there, I'm going off of Kiki's character.
Okay. It was Now, I think. Now.
Now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, she's a suit. She loves being what I gather is she loves being a soldier. She's dedicated to her work, but
Mm-hmm.
yet and still she does have like a sweet side or a human side
Right.
to her. Whereas everybody else is kind of coming in and trying to look for a particular evil person.
So, okay, so you're saying like once she realized that she had the power.
No. This is before she
Oh,
got
so
the
when they
power.
was searching for the guy in
Yeah.
yeah.
But just to see how everybody else was on alert, okay?
Right.
Where she was kind of, speaking to the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and then she wanted to talk to the woman to see if whoever they were searching for was
Mm-hmm.
located at that compound.
Right.
Which, okay, 9 times out of 10 it was, and unfortunately, she ended up killing someone, and that kind of messed her whole world up because while she killed him, guess what happened to her? She ended up getting killed at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, taken from that collection to now, you have 4 individuals look like super soldiers that looks bold. They're bold individuals that can fight anything and do anything from what it looks like from on TV.
Right.
And then what happens? They walk into a room and get slaughtered.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, okay, well, damn, why did they walk in the room? First of all, why did they walk in the room? Why did they walk in the room? First of all, second of all, like, okay, so you mean to tell me that's it? Like they just get slaughtered,
right? Because like that's like in the first couple of minutes of the movie, it's like, okay, is it over? Right.
Like, okay, and then what magically happens is things change. We find out that these 4 individuals are graced with powers that you can't even imagine.
Well, it's not even because when you say powers, like they didn't really have powers. The only thing that it was just immortality. So they just couldn't die.
But that is a power, though.
Yes, but it's not like they could use it to affect somebody else or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's later.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Because I'm thinking about. Well, I'm thinking about from what you said? Immortality. Immortality. They're able to live on, so they've basically seen a whole transition of life.
Yes,
and they've been able to kind of fit in each realm of life or whatnot.
Yeah. So like, because then with Andy, who is played by Charlize Theron, she's the oldest one, so
Yeah.
she's been around for whenever, and
She big mama.
she's the old guard. She's the leader of their tribe, and it's her.
And she can fight.
Yeah, all of them really.
Mother can
so it's her, then three of the guys that she's working with. So it's the four of them, and basically how they are coming together.
Joe,
and
Nikki,
they're like,
Joe, Nikki, and Booker, yeah, and Booker, yeah.
Yes. So so these four people are going traveling around the world. So once old girl dies, now that's when they had a dream of her. And so whenever somebody becomes immortal, they dream of them. And Charlize's character, Andy, was like, "Oh, I got to go get her."
Yeah.
And so that's when Niles is trying to figure out. Well, Niles is trying to figure out she got slashed in the neck, that healed.
How?
People looking at her like, "Hey, something ain't right. How did you do this?"
So do you think? You see how her transition? Everybody was worried about her. Her friends was worried about her. But then, did you see the shift where they kind of made her feel like an outsider?
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, well, why? You were so worried about her in the beginning.
So if your friend died right in front of you, you literally was there holding their neck.
But I'm happy that you're alive. Okay, Bobby, I'm happy that you're here. Okay, Bobby, let's go get a drink. Let's go do something. I get it. I come see you. I seen you when it was a big cut or gash in your throat that looked like, hey, it was the end of the world. But then now to visit you in the infirmary and you just look normal as can be.
Right.
Like
neck healed, all that.
But I'm not gonna basically put you out or make you feel like an outsider. But then I also got a piggyback off of this too as well because Kiki character, I wanted to punch her in her throat because she needed to man up a couple of times. Stop letting emotions get in your way. Because I think that's what she did with her friends, even though they did kind of make it seem like she was an outsider. But yet and still, her automatically thought was, well, y'all don't like me no more.
Right.
So let me move on.
So, okay, let's look at it. Let's take a step back and look at that particular part of the movie, how the friends responded to her once she was healed. Do you feel like that was a bad creative choice on like the writer and director?
Okay. Yeah. Yes, you could have told a little bit more story.
And so I would say showing a little bit more compassion from the friends.
Yes.
Of like, how did this happen? Because like they automatically was like, something ain't right with her.
Oh,
like there was no concern, anything.
Like we just seen you laying down there bleeding out, dead, and now you just here. Okay, well let me just turn my back on you. That's wrong.
So as the movie progresses, we Andy's character comes to I don't know if they were in Afghanistan or something.
Yeah.
So she goes there to take Niles to go back to help them. They get in a little fight on the airplane and they're connecting and bonding and stuff.
Now, do you think that she was kind of overreacting? Niles, she had to get adjusted to now this new form of life that, okay, I was once dead and now I'm alive. And now this person that I don't even know nothing about kidnaps me and tells me, hey, you here.
So you think she was overreacting?
She was being a little kid.
But she's young, so I'm sure she's like in her early 20s or whatever.
And I understand she was so adamant of, okay, what I'm going to do about my family.
That was a whole like uproot of her life. Like she's in the military.
But now you got superpower, girl.
But she hasn't realized that yet. It's not like she's like killing herself to find out if it's real. So it took her a while to kind of get to accept it.
Well, what's
Andy?
Cherise.
Andy?
Yeah.
When she shot
in the head, yeah. She knew.
Okay, you just got
bounced back.
You just got shot in the head.
You bounced back.
Somebody just shot you in the head, you can be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go with this person. Even if I bounce back or not.
But she's able, like when you have a character that shows light to what the word, what the, I guess your new reality is
Mm-hmm.
or whatnot, then something should open up, and you shouldn't want to. You shouldn't want to. You shouldn't want to fight that individual.
I disagree because I'm like, this had to be had like maybe a 2 day, 2 to 3 day. Well, it probably was like 2 3 days of her getting slashed in her neck, and then she waking up in
Infirmary.
the infirmary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, or even if it's a day, like she literally just died. She knew she died. Her friend knew she died.
Mm-hmm.
So now this person is coming and taking you and like, oh, let's go here. You're a super soldier, or you're immortal, and there's more of us. That's a whole shift to your whole world. Knowing that you can't go back to Afghanistan because like they're gonna be like, well, what happened to you? You AWOL.
They
You're gonna call your family and tell them like, hey, I died, but this is what's happening now. So it's like it was a whole shift. So I kind of get why she responded the way she did, and it took her a while to like accept what was really going on. Now, throughout the movie, they are what was the plot in the first movie? So they were trying to the one guy with the CIA, I think it was basically he was working for this other guy.
2012 movie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
So they're working with this other guy who was quote unquote scientist who's trying to basically steal their power or immortality, right? And he claims he wants to help people with cancer and other illnesses, but he's trying to basically profit off of it. And in the end, is really trying to kill them.
Yeah.
So they're trying to fight he kidnapped some of them and they're fighting to get them back. Then we find out that old boy basically set them up. So he was working with the other guy. So I want to ask you this.
Okay.
So what I said his name was Booker.
Mm-hmm.
So with Booker, how do you feel? So, for the audience, if y'all haven't seen it, or if you have seen it. So with Booker was like basically tired of being immortal. Like he had to let go of his family at whatever point in time.
And also Booker was in the movie, he's the second individual that we know that spent more time in the immortal state compared to others.
Okay.
Yeah.
Immortal or immortal? Immortal. So he was right after Andy.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel about his betrayal of Andy and the rest of them by working with the CIA guy and the scientist?
He was wrong. He was wrong. He was wrong because they all, as you see in the movie, that it's kind of they built a family with each other. You had the other two guys, and you had Andy and Booker. Andy and Booker met each other before they even met the other two guys. So once they met the other two guys that had the same ability as them, they all came together as a family. So you don't want nobody to betray your family. You wouldn't want like somebody that you grew up with to betray you and stuff like that.
Yes, I agree. But at the same time, do you think, like, imagine that life of going thousands or hundreds of years without being able to like really have a connection with someone. So the other two guys, they were lovers.
Yeah.
So, and I think they had been immortal together. The whole time. And so I think that he was wrong because he shouldn't have betrayed them. But at the same time, like, the man was lonely and he's just like going through life with no type of real connection with someone outside of the four of them.
I know he's a character, but loneliness, he was loneliness because of himself.
How?
We understand that you have a certain type of ability that no one else on this planet has. But also it all depends on your reality and your take of how you feel.
But yes, but you got to think of it as like, let's say I can't remember how long he had been alive, but let's say he was alive for 1,000 years, right?
Yeah.
How many families would he have to go through? And at some point, it's like, oh, if he's
at one point in time, he did mention that he watched his daughter, his son, or I think it was his son. Yeah, his son passed,
right,
and stuff like that. But it's all on him.
How do you mean it's all on him?
It's all on him because when
Take your time.
yeah,
Let the Lord use you.
I'm trying to let him use me. So when you deal with the situation where you're you're different than everybody,
Mm-hmm.
your take of life is going to be different too.
Mm-hmm.
But also, he was so his demeanor was so kind of aggressive to
So
where he wouldn't let nobody in
okay.
or do more stuff to basically meet somebody if he was quote unquote lonely.
Okay, so now let's go back to what we talked about earlier, like far as understanding the character and being able to look at the parts of the character that we don't know, that we don't see.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, he could go out and meet somebody. He could absolutely go out and meet somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that means, okay, what if he falls in love with someone? Then it's repeating that cycle. So he can have a family, he can do all that, but after about 10, 15 years, wife gonna be looking at him like,
Nigga, you ain't getting older.
ain't getting older at all. And so at what point, even and now, like I can't remember if it was one or two, but they talked about how when people know or learn of the secret, they're like, oh well, you can help me. There's something you can do
Mm-hmm.
to help me if I'm dying, if I'm sick, or once you get to old age, like what can you do to help me? So that means if he's lived those thousands of years, we don't know how many actual lives, or like when I say lives, like families and things that he's created, that he had to leave or that he had to watch
Mm-hmm.
die. And it's just a repeated cycle
Over and over
of
again.
that. So imagine being with a family for, let's say he stayed with a family for 30 years and then they die. He's still 30 something, 40 years old. Now he got to restart that over, spend
Yeah.
another 30 years and just keep repeating that
Or
cycle. So after,
you watch your loved ones pass.
yes, over and
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over. And even outside of that, even
Well,
if
that
he
makes
just
some good
had,
storytelling.
even if he had like disconnections and not necessarily like family and relationships, it's still, you have to watch these people die over and over and over again. So I feel like for him, he got to his breaking point of, hey, I can't do it anymore. Y'all all I got. I've lost so many people. This is all I got, and I don't have anything
But
now.
then when he trade on his family,
Mm-hmm.
he realized that he had made a big mistake.
Mm-hmm. I get that. I get that. Now I realize, not I realize, but I think that that's a part of life. Like sometimes you think the grass is green on the other side. You feel
Mm-hmm.
like if I do this, then everything will be better, but you realize it's not. And I'm sure he realized that in the movie.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so okay.
Another thing that I witnessed that I was like I paid attention to, and I don't know if this falls in the plot or it falls into the director,
Mhm.
I guess, standpoint, was if they're supposed to be living off the grid, then why are they carrying cell phones?
Did they have cell phones?
She had uh
Andy?
Andy had Kiki's cell phone.
That was Kiki, but remember she was trying to tell her to get rid of it. And they kind of mentioned it in there was a part where,
Because Andy was looking at her cell phone because she was looking at her family
yes, yeah,
at Kiki's family
mm-hmm,
and stuff.
yeah.
But
But it was in the beginning of the movie, there was a part where somebody went to take, there was the family was taking a selfie,
mm-hmm.
and Andy had to turn her head because she didn't want to be photographed, because that's like you said, leaving that digital footprint. So I think that it's it's something that over the years, like they had to learn to adapt and get used to these new centuries and all of the new things that's going on in the world. So that had to be a lot too, though. But okay, so in the first one, we learned that Andy had her first person that she was close with, which was Quinn. Quinn was they were accused of being witches,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Doing the
took,
Salem trial.
yes. So
Mm-hmm.
they took Quinn, put her in this cast iron
And dropped her
casket, put
at
her in the
the
water,
bottom of the
in the
water.
bottom of the water, the bottom of the water. So,
And can you imagine? She has the same ability as as Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if she's hurt or harmed, she's able to heal.
Mm-hmm.
However, when she basically dies, she's able to come back alive.
Mm-hmm.
So you put her in a cast iron type suit.
Well, it's like a coffin.
Well, coffin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Coffin is a better word for it. Yeah. And you drop it in the middle of the ocean. So she, for what was they said about 500
500
years?
years, yeah.
500 years, she's just dying and coming back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Dying and coming back to life. Dying and coming back to life. That's miserable.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's miserable and that's painful.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be painful. Because it's like, okay, when can you catch a breath? When you catch a breath, it's nothing but water because you're at the bottom of the ocean.
That's a sad life for 500 years. Ooh. So okay. So the movie fast forwards. They find out that the scientist guy, played the CIA guy.
Mm-hmm.
All of the people, like 2 of the guys, got captured.
Yeah.
So they're trying to go
The
into the homosexuals. They go in to retrieve them. That's when we find out that Booker betrayed them.
But we found out at the time where they was meeting up with the CIA guy.
What? That Booker betrayed him?
Mm-hmm.
No, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's when, because remember at that point is when Now had left because she was like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
She looked at the gun and realized that there was no bullets in the gun. So she was like, okay, Booker took the bullets out the gun so that.
But then Andy gave her an ultimatum. If you want to leave, you want to leave.
Yeah,
leave.
yeah.
And so do you think she made a right decision in the beginning?
To leave? Yes, because like she said that she's still young. She has several years left that she can be with her family before she has to leave. And she didn't really get to say no goodbyes to anybody.
But okay, question. I understand that. But do you think also, well, just a thought. When you're like, she was number one, when she got, I guess, recruited or when she died, and Andy and them was able to have a dream and able to, one of the, I think it was Nikki. Nikki was able to draw a picture of Now to help Andy find them and stuff like that. Now they all got a connection, a soul connection. You think it was going to be easy for her to leave if they had some type of connection?
Well, I think that's why she ended up staying. Like once she realized that Andy may be in harm, then that's what she's like, okay, you know what? No, I need to stay to see what's going on.
That's why I say maturity. That's why she was giving me too much. Oh no! This is too much. It's too much. And then when you leave, and then now you want to come back.
So you faulting her for coming back?
I'm not faulting her for coming back. She should have never left in the first place.
She was young. She wanted her family. If she's in her 20s, she could spend another 15, 20 years with them, dye her hair gray a little bit as she get older, and play it off.
But no. I mean, yes, you can play it off, but the concept is you're gonna no longer fit in to regular society.
Yes, but she had time.
I understand she had time. I understand that. But still, she's not a part of the regular society right now. She no longer can be in connection with her brother and her mom because of
like the AWOL and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like a whole bunch of stuff that was kind of adding on to her not being in.
But I feel like, okay, so when we talk about like the arc of a movie, so like a character and their development and how they build and grow throughout the film. So I think that we had to see her go through, okay, that denial phase, then to get to that anger, to get to that acceptance and all of that.
Okay, so 7 stages of, what is it?
Grief. I thought it was 5 stages of grief.
Was it grief or
it's grief.
Anger?
Well, anger is one of them. Well, anger is one of the steps. But I think as for the audience, it wouldn't have been believable if she was just like, oh, I was killed, I'm going to just go with you guys. Like there had to be some kind of refusal before. Yeah, she couldn't just be like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, would you have believed that? Because I feel like we would have been having the same conversation, just opposite.
I think we could have went more on, oh my God, how I get here, what I'm doing, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, all right, so you know more about this than I do. So let me.
But you still have to keep in mind her mindset and where she was when all of this happened. She's at war in that moment. When you at war, there is no, oh, let me take a step back. They just shot a grenade at me. Well, I wonder why they're shooting a grenade at me. You literally just died trying to save these people from this village and killing the bad guy. Now you're being kidnapped. So she don't know if, oh, am I really immortal, or is this somebody trying to make me a prisoner of war or something?
What Yolanda said?
Who is Yolanda Adams? The battle is not yours.
It's the what? It's the Lord.
No. I feel like I feel like that whole storyline it was decent. I was not necessarily happy with her performance at times. But
Thank you. We agree on that. Like she was just doing too much.
Okay, so let's get back. We'll get back to that in a second. All right, so they go into this facility. They Andy has realized that she's not healing anymore. Later on, we come to find out that did we find out in 2 or in 1?
Find out in 2.
Okay, so we'll get that in 2. Mm-hmm. So we find out why she's not healing later on, but she gets captured. Then Now shows up. Now's just like the coming in as badass. Like, okay, I need to save her. She took me out to help me to get here. She has that emotional connection with them because she's been with them for a while, right? So they go in. All this stuff happens.
Bang, bang, bang! Shooter, killer.
She saves them. Saves the day, right? So then Booker. Once everything's said and done, Booker gets exiled. And she's like, I'll meet you back here in a year.
Do you think they needed to exile him?
I wouldn't say for that long. I felt like he deserves some type of punishment. Being exiled, I think, yes. Because like they couldn't die. So it was like, you're gonna be here. I'll see you in 1,000 years. Like we could catch up in 1,000 years.
Else could have handled. They could have handled it. They
all could have been gone though.
Huh?
They all could have been dead and gone because of him.
True. But he realized his actions.
Mm-hmm.
They made it through. They made it. They made it through to see another day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think they should have exiled him, but they should have held him accountable for his actions. True.
Yes.
Because from my standpoint, y'all are family. So family gonna turn their back on each other no matter what sometimes.
But getting you captured to get killed? Well, I don't think he thought they was gonna kill him. And I think his thing, he thought that there was gonna be a cure or something like that, so that he wouldn't have, like, he could just live out the rest of his life and die.
He was more of the selfish loner out of all of them, really. Selfish.
I heard you.
Loner. Okay. Even though Andy was a loner too, as well, but she was a loner because
she was the leader too, though. So she knew she had to step up and.
But I think for her, it was more of, since she lost her loved one a long time ago in the bottom of the ocean, she kind of put that world aside, but she still was a loner, but she still focused on their little family unit or trying to basically work it out.
Yeah,
because he was just a loner.
Because it's like a single mother. Like you don't have time to be tired. You don't have time to be upset. Like you got these kids to take care of, and that's what Andy was.
Get that baby. Get that baby.
Okay, so now let's talk about like performances. So let's start with Miss Now. To me, like the acting side of it, I feel like I don't know. I feel like maybe that someone else could have done a better, more solid job.
So who
I don't know. I'm just saying. Like she wasn't believable at times. So like in the beginning, how you saying like she was like a little brat, little spoiled brat.
Mm-hmm.
There was some parts of her performance that I just didn't like.
Well, to me, I think that she's number one. She's a newer actress than because I don't remember her from too much previously. But when you were saying to me, okay, remember she just woke up one day and became this person, and so it was hard for her to transition of leaving her family. I think she kind of held on to that kind of concept or that mentality and used that to fuel her anger. Her anger scenes, I would say, more.
And I get that. To me, is just more of
Bad
how we kind of talked, right? So we talked about earlier is like she was pretending to be
ain't gonna
angry.
get no award.
She was
according to
pretending to
Bobby
be
Terrell.
angry. She was pretending to be angry, and it's like I saw that in some of her performances, like when she would be yelling and things like that. I'm like, girl, you don't mean that.
But I mean, hey, I give her credit because she had great practice with martial art people or
Oh,
whatever.
of course, I'm sure they had to do that.
Yeah, and she looked like she was doing her own stunts too. So
yeah, probably so. But yeah, overall, her acting wasn't the best. What did you think of Booker? Did you think his acting was good?
Booker acting was really good.
Okay,
I consider him. He was a really good guy, really good actor.
actor. He was a good
that's
guy.
what I'm trying to say.
And I agree. I think that Booker was more believable when it came to that. Like he just gave what I liked about his performance. What I liked about his performance is that you saw the different, like you saw, I would say nuances, I think might be the right word.
Okay.
Whereas we saw the layers to his performance.
I was just about to say, I seen him, he was hard, aggressive, but then when him and Na was kind of like just together or whatever, I saw kind of the more nurturing. Will I say nurturing or just softer? He was a little bit more softer with her.
So yeah, and I would say like for me it's more of we knew that he was battling with being tired, right? But he still showed up to fight and do that. But it was those small moments that you could see like that on his face, it was just like, I'm tired. And it's not a physical tired. It was just like I can't keep doing this. And I feel like he gave me little bits and pieces of that, which made me believe him, and it made me also kind of sympathize with him a little bit throughout the film. Like once it happened, I'm like, damn, Booker, why would you do that? But at the same time, I'm like, I get it. Like I felt that from him. Okay. You didn't feel that from him? Why not? What you?
I still was stuck on his aggression side, his no nonsense mentality.
So okay, I don't know if you want to go back and watch it again. That's when I say those small little moments within a film and an actor's choice. It's the things that you have to pay attention to, because that, like those scenes where they're not saying anything, or when they say something, what is their body language saying?
Okay,
and he gave that, and like, and I think for me, I think for you, what I'm saying will make more sense when we talk about 2 and how he was in the end.
Okay.
Because you saw in the end, he was just like,
yeah,
I love you. I do.
He was willing to risk it all. We'll like, just say that.
I'm just done. Like, okay, I don't want to jump into 2 yet, but remember that mirror scene when we get to 2 with Booker.
Okay.
Remember that. Okay, so all right, the lovers. What do y'all?
Nikki and
I can't remember the other one name.
Nikki and Joe.
Joe. Okay. How do you think they did?
Hey Joe, how you doing, Joe? I like Joe.
Okay, which one was Joe?
Joe was the
white
artsy guy.
The white one or the other one?
The
other one was like okay.
I like Joe character more than Nikki character.
Okay.
Nikki gave me irritated lover, like needy guy. Don't do anything without Joe's movement, or really kind of, I guess, want to piggyback off of Joe movement. Joe gave, character wise or them acting, I don't really know too much about Nikki as an actor. However, he did a good job of kind of expressing who his character was.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of gathered from that. He was more of kind of the supporting, I guess, a supporting character
Yeah.
than most
Yeah.
out
So
there in the front.
right. So I think like with both of them characters, they were kind of the side storyline or the B or C D storyline or whatever you want to call it. So like we didn't get to see a lot of them, but what I did like, um, even though we didn't know their whole backstory, their connection with one another and how they played off of each other, I thought was good. Like looking at them and how they interacted, it was I believe that they were lovers. Did you?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Maybe towards the ending part where they were kind of stuck when they were getting experimented on, and they were kind of like helping each other out. I'm here. I'm
Mm.
here. I'm
So
holding your hand.
you need to pay attention more.
Hold on. But then there was the scene when they first got captured, and it was in the they was in like a truck, and
Mm-hmm.
Joe was expressing himself. That's not my boyfriend. That, and then he did a whole
Mm-hmm. The
monologue.
monologue. Yeah.
Yes, I was like, "Work, Joe. You better let him know I've been here since the beginning."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he ain't my damn boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there gave me more of, okay, well, I'm putting this point in to kind of, number to me, kind of confuse the characters, as well as to maybe transition into, okay, we're able to fight and we're able to, oh, I think I'm running off. I'm running off right now.
Okay.
Let me
So
bring it back. Let me bring it back. I'm running off.
so there were moments within the film where they will be doing stuff, and one of them they were always looking for the other person. There's like,
Yeah,
is he good?
they was
Is he okay?
connected. Yeah.
Yes. And so there are times where anytime I'm gonna have to look at it again, but there are many times where yes, they're helping each other. Like all four of them were helping each other, and then five with now, but Joe and Nikki were always with each other. They were always like,
Mm-hmm.
if he needed help, that's who he's going to help first. There was a scene where they were laying in bed and one of them was holding the other one in bed, but then later on they said something about how he doesn't sleep or the dreams or something that he has or something like that. And it's like it played back to that moment where it's just that split second of us seeing them in bed and him having his arms around him in bed.
Okay.
So it's like those small little moments that build up into the bigger picture of who they are as a couple with each other.
Well,
So
we learned more about them a little bit in 2 compared to 1.
I don't remember my cocktail kicking in. Okay, so anyway, all right. So we talked about them. What about Charlize? How did you enjoy her performance?
She always plays, whenever she's playing some type of
Like warrior type character.
warrior.
Mm-hmm.
She. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, y'all. I support everybody. She just remind me of like She reminds me of a lesbian warrior.
That is very offensive, Dennis.
I'm not, and I'm not, I hope I don't try to be in trouble, but it's just like she's able to, even though in real life she is who she is, she's not like that or anything. But every warrior that she plays is more of like she does not have a soft side. I would say it's always kind of
So if a
like
woman is strong and know who they are and is an independent woman, they're a lesbian to you?
no. Oh, so now you trying to basically throw me under the bus?
I'm not trying to do nothing.
Uh-huh.
You parked that
No,
bus, you got out,
but I'm
and you
just
left
saying,
it in
like, if you
drive.
if you look at her other type warriors, has it always been more kind of aggressive than?
But that's what a warrior is, though. Don't But okay, so you're saying that.
I mean, the Pink Ranger, the Pink.
Shut up, boy. You're
She's
saying that,
not
but it's like,
aggressive.
but okay, it's also those moments when she's like sitting back and kind of watching them, and she's like, she did all of this. That like I feel like she showed a softer side, just not in a way that was like, oh, come here, let me hold you, let me kiss you.
She was just more reserved. Is that what you're saying?
She was who she was, but I think that when we look at what we call soft and nurturing and all of that, it doesn't look the same way all the time. To me, I felt like she was very nurturing. Like when they had issues, like she was the person. Like if you think about however long they've been together in a little clique, she was the one that basically made all of that happen.
Because she was the senior. She was basically the senior person on the team.
Right. She was
So she know every movement.
so exactly. So in order for them to trust her and want to follow her, there had to be some nurturing there.
Now we seen her in 2 show the reasons why she was not as soft
Mm-hmm.
because she lost somebody.
Yes, but I think what I'm saying is I feel that the softness or the nurturing, let's say nurturing side, to me, the nurturing side is how she protected them. How she was like, I'm the first one that's going in. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
me
Yeah, she was
leading the
number
way
1.
for you. To me, that was her nurturing. But you want her to be this little lady.
No, I don't need her to be a lady. I just need
Mm-hmm.
her to be a little bit more. A little bit more. Just add a little
She was a
pinch of
warrior. She ain't had
Southern
time for that.
Belle.
She ain't had
Just
time
a
for that.
pinch of Southern
This ain't
Belle.
Phaedra.
But
This ain't Phaedra.
but overall, her as an actress, she always killed everything that she
Mm-hmm.
plays in. So, and then she's playing something that she's familiar with.
Right. And I would say, like, with her character, to me, it was the right amount of masculinity that I would say. To me, she wasn't like overly masculine. She wasn't like I don't want to get in trouble like you.
She wasn't no butch.
Yeah.
Hey, when I was watching, I was like, she just old. Yeah, she ride me old butch.
No, I feel like she would be like a soft stud. She'd be more
I
like a
got
soft
you.
stud. All right. So the movie as a whole, how would you rate the movie as a whole? Out 1 to 10.
This was. I want to. This was a 9.
Okay.
This was a 9. I went in it before I saw it. I went in it with kind of like open expectations, and then after I watched it, I was very surprised of the storyline.
Okay.
I was very surprised about the
Mm-hmm.
storyline, and I was very surprised that I'll be interested in that storyline because they was fighting, but yet and still there was no. To me, there was. I was looking for more like bing bang, like give me more warrior scenes,
Okay.
and it wasn't no that much warrior scenes. However, we find out later on that it could be more warrior scenes in 2 compared to 1 because it was more fighting. And
This wasn't a warrior movie though.
to me, it was a warrior movie because they're basically fighting.
Oh, so you call fighting just a warrior movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking like Warrior Back, like
they're
the Beast,
protecting.
the AD times. When you
Oh,
say Warrior, that's what I thought you were talking about, like back
okay.
in
Not
AD.
Spanish warrior or
Or
whatever.
like the what you call it? The what's the movie I watched the other week? Gladiator type
Glad.
Warrior. That's what you said Warrior. I thought that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
All right, for me, I would give it like a 8.5.
Okay. Why?
Um,
Why 8.5?
Some of the acting now I keep saying now some of her acting wasn't always there, and some of the things like the fighting I thought was good, but there were moments where it was like you're telling me there are 30 to 50 men shooting at y'all and y'all get hit like twice. I get y'all can't die, but all these people shooting at y'all, and y'all running around and all of that, and y'all just not getting
Maneuver.
shot.
They maneuver, baby.
So there's small
This
things
is
like
maneuver.
that. I think that what I do love about the film is how they gave us a lot of the backstory when it came to Andy a little bit.
Okay.
I wish that we got a little bit more backstory on some of the other characters, but I feel like it would have been kind of too much if we're talking about all 5 of them and their backstory. But I do like that we got that backstory to Andy, and then leading into 2, it was like, oh, there's even more of a backstory, and we got to see some of that too.
Yeah, because it left you on a cliffhanger.
Yes. So that's part 1 of it. Overall, I thought it was a really great movie when I first saw it. I definitely enjoyed it. With the second movie, I also definitely enjoyed that one also.
I did enjoy the second one. I enjoyed the first one better than the second one, to be honest.
I enjoyed the first one better, but it wasn't by a big margin.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
it's not. Yeah.
Like if I would give, like I would give, like I said, I give the. Well, we'll talk about the second one in a second.
Okay.
All right. So before we get into this part 2, we're going to do an actual part 2 of our first episode. So this is the conclusion of part 1 of our first episode. First episode of dang it.
Movie.
A movie.
Yeah,
we might have to rethink this cocktail part of it. We might have to rethink this cocktail part of it.
It's cocktail.
But the other episodes ain't gonna be this long.
It's cocktail done got into them.
Anyway, so this is the conclusion of episode 1 of A Movie and a Cocktail with Bobby.
I almost had it. I can be first.
I almost had it. I'm gonna try it again.
Okay. And
action. I gave myself action. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right. This is, you know what? I'm done. This is the end of the first episode. Y'all know the name of it. Go look it up if y'all don't know the name of it.
Catch us on the second one.
We're going to, part 2 will be following right behind. You can follow me at Bobby Jarrell on Instagram. That's BOBBYJAREL.
You can follow me on Instagram with Denkirk. That's DENKIRK. That's me.
Denkirk. All right. If y'all like the episode, please like, follow, share, comment. If y'all have any suggestions on movies y'all would like for us to review, put it in the comments. Send us a DM on social media. And once you're done with this one, go check out part 2 of our first episode of A Movie and a Cocktail with Bobby and Jarrell. Peace. All right, so apparently I got the name wrong again. So do you want to say the name?
Yes, I will say the name.
Do you know the name?
Yes. But okay, how should I introduce it though?
Just say the name.
This Movie and Cocktails with the one and only Dennis with Bobby Jarrell.
That is not the name of the show.
Okay, the name of the show is
Jesus, are you drunk?
No, I'm not. I'm a little tipsy, but
okay, it's
a movie and cocktail with Bobby Jarrell and Dennis.
No, it's not. It's a movie and a cocktail with Bobby and Dennis.
Okay, I'm sorry. Ooh. I thought hold on, you first said Bobby. You know you first said when we first started Bobby
I did not.
Jarrell.
We can go back and look at it. Let's not argue on this. Let's not argue. We're trying to have a peaceful review show. Let's end this show so we can start the next episode, okay? Don't. You know what? Y'all have a good night.
Night.